everybody, and welcome back to the Wayward Magic podcast. It has been a while since I've recorded a podcast. I have been going through one of my own deep transformational journeys for the past few months, which has led me to today's topic, being impeccable with your word. I want to talk about how our language really shapes our reality, but also more importantly, how to change it for good. Okay, sometimes it's really easy to run those affirmations one day, and then the second life kind of gets in the way, we go right back to our programmed way of thinking. And so I went on this journey of how I can really transform my own heavy, negative, limited thoughts for good. I was tired of the roller coaster. So if you've been in the manifestation spiritual space for a while, you may have already heard of the phrase, be impeccable with your word, from the book, The 4 Agreements. This is an amazing read. Highly recommend if you have not checked that out yet. But I really want to get real when it comes to being impeccable with your word. What does that actually even mean? And more importantly, why is it so damn hard for some of us to implement? If you are like me, if you're naturally skeptical, negative, or just deeply stubborn, raising my hand here, then changing your language does not come easy. If you have ever catched yourself saying things like, food is so expensive, I hate my job, traffic sucks, I always get crappy service, I don't like people, I'm just not good at saving money, I can't lose weight no matter what I do, I never get what I want, that's just my luck. Does any of that sound familiar to you? And think of some of your own limited phrases that might be similar. We all have these essentially default phrases that we repeat daily, often on autopilot without even realizing it. We don't even question these. We take them in as truth, right? But here's the problem. Every time we say it, we are reinforcing it, not just in our mind, but also in our reality. Your words act like a command to the universe. That's real. And the more you declare something, the more evidence your subconscious and the external world will line up to prove you right. So let's really break this down. Talk about how your words shape your reality. The mind doesn't question repetition. It simply accepts it. At first, it might feel like a lie, but here's what happens when you persist. Your brain starts noticing all the good service you're getting. You unconsciously shift your energy and your expectations. People will start picking up on your energy and respond to you differently. You will act in ways that invite better circumstances, better service, better jobs, better relationships, better situation with money. People will be smiling at you. You'll find them to be friendlier. Learn to be in this space of ease. And soon you have the real life proof that supports these new beliefs. Okay, so we talk about all the time, your thoughts grow, words are spells, what you think about expands. This is truth, and this is taking that topic a little bit deeper, taking a dive into what that really looks like behind the scenes and after the scenes. Okay. Your mind will believe what you tell it. The problem is we tell the new belief once or twice, and then we let life get in the way. So let's talk about the hot topic of money, as I hear this a lot right now too, in these crazy times we're in. So if you find yourself constantly saying money is always tight, everything is so expensive right now, the economy is shit, then you unconsciously are seeking out experiences that are validating that belief. Your brain will filter out anything that contradicts it. I really want you to hear me here. This will look like when unexpected money does come in, you're going to dismiss it as a one-time thing. When an unexpected expense pops up, you will then acknowledge that experience and you will mentally shout, see, I can never catch a break. And over time, your belief solidifies more and more and more, and the pattern repeats again and again and again. But fear not. We can flip this. You can start saying things like, money flows to me in unexpected and easy ways. And I want to be real because that is so important to me. I need practical as well. This is not about toxic positivity. It is about understanding that your words create self-fulfilling prophecies and then using that to your advantage. All right, so again, if you're anything like me and you've got that stubborn streak and that negativity that runs a mile long, let's talk about why it's so hard to change, especially for my fellow stubborn negative thinkers. Let's be honest. If you've been wired for skepticism over time, for frustration, or even just a little bit of salty realism, changing your words does feel really fake. It feels like you're lying to yourself, and then your brain fights back. That's because most advice out there is to surface level, my friends. Saying that, oh, I'm rich and successful, while internally screaming, no, I am not, just doesn't work. Telling yourself every day, I love my job, when you absolutely hate your job, doesn't work. We need to, this is where the magic blends with the mundane, the practical, and the spiritual. So how do we really create real, lasting, and quick change while believing it to be true? So here's the real transformational advice. This is how to rewire your words and your life. First and foremost, you don't have to force positivity. Start with neutrality. If affirmations like, I love my job, make you want to throw up, don't use them. Instead, start with something just a little bit more neutral. Instead of, I hate my job, try something like, this job is temporary and I am open to new opportunities. Or something like, I am capable of creating better work experiences. Then you start to believe, hey, I'm capable of something different. Then you start exploring that, right? You start getting evidence of where you are capable of something different. So going back to the hot money topic, instead of saying I'm broke all the time, try saying something like, I'm learning to manage my money in smarter ways. Or, money is a skill that I am improving every day. And when you start to repeat that, your mind starts to look for evidence of where money is improving for you. You'll start to look for evidence of smarter ways to manage your money, right? The goal is to stop reinforcing the negative thought before jumping to the extreme positivity. You might feel like you tried it and it just didn't work for you. It was missing the boat. And then you might think something's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Not enough manifestation teachings out there are talking about going from super negativity, taking a little jump, a practical jump to neutrality, and then finding our way to more positivity. Okay? And here's another way to really work with this is just make it a game, a catch and flip. Turn it into a daily challenge for yourself. What I love about this kind of advice is there is no excuse of I'm too busy. You can do this on the fly in any moment at any time, no matter what you're doing. So I'm going to challenge you right here and now, and I would love to hear back from you after 24 hours if you accept this challenge. For the next 24 hours, I want you to really catch yourself every time you say or think something negative. You're not going to shame yourself. We're not doing that here. What you're going to do is you're just going to slip it into something neutral or positive if you can, and use the examples I gave to help you with those reframes. So another hot topic, traffic. None of us like traffic, right? If you say, oh, traffic is the worst, then just notice you said it and immediately follow it with, or maybe this is the perfect time to listen to my favorite podcast, like the Wayward Magic podcast, you know? The more you catch and flip, the faster your brain will rewire. So this is just simply about mindfulness and being willing to really step back and observe your thoughts for a few days. I have this visual where I like to see myself placing those thoughts in a red box kind of outside my energy body, just so I can separate them remove myself from them and I don't feel so attached to the negativity. Or even see yourself standing at the bank of the river and all of those thoughts are just floating by in the river. So you have a little bit of separation in order to really observe yourself, especially if you're just starting out with this work. This does take a deal of mindfulness, okay? And you can always use the yet word to reprogram limiting beliefs, right? And to help you get to a space where you do actually believe it. Your brain does reject outright lies if you hate your job and you're trying to tell yourself you love it, but it will accept possibilities. So instead of saying, I suck at saving money, say, I'm not great at saving money yet. Instead of, I never meet good people, say, I haven't met the right people yet. Instead of, I can't lose weight, you say, I haven't found what works for me yet. The energy of that word yet, that leaves the door of possibility open, so your mind starts looking for how it can fulfill that yet energy. Does that make sense? And I promise you, these tiny shifts will keep the door open for possibility and change. Why it may not have worked for you in the past is possibly you didn't stick with it, or possibly you tried to force too much positivity that just really didn't feel real. This is a everyday thing. Come back to this podcast. I've got this in blog form if you prefer to read it. Make yourself a little note in your journal, sticky notes on your mirror, on your desk. Remind yourself to observe your thoughts and try these subtle shifts. See what happens in 24 hours. See what happens in 3 days. Keep it going and see what happens in a week. If nothing has shifted for you, then try something else. But if you genuinely stick with this, you will see a shift. This is everything that I have used and still work with when I need to get through some of my shadows and limiting beliefs that still linger around. And then my last piece of advice about this is I really want you to start speaking more of what you want. What do you want to see more of instead of what you don't want? We are experts, all of us, about what we don't want. Let's become an expert about everything we do want. So instead of describing life as it is, start describing it how you want it to be. Your words truly are setting the stage for what is next. I have been experimenting with this for 10 years, a literal decade, and I don't just dabble. This is my lifestyle. What I'm saying is absolutely true. These will create shifts in your life if you're willing to give it a consistent effort. I have been writing my reality for 10 years, and I write it with what my current levels of possibility are, and maybe a little bit more expansive, right? I don't go to the extreme to where it feels so far off the mark that I just don't believe that's going to happen, right? And then I just keep up leveling that reality. And if I write something into my reality and it comes to fruition and I don't like it, I write something else. I'm telling you, this works. I push reality writing for a reason. Okay, so some ways to reframe when we talk about what we don't want. Your old phrase might be something like, I never have enough time. That's an excuse. I'm busy too. We make time for what's important. So the reframe would be, I always have enough time for what matters the most to me. When you start speaking that into your reality, you'll find yourself setting boundaries. You'll find yourself taking things off the to-do list that don't belong there, saying yes when you want to say yes, no when you want to say no. Okay, what about, when we have encounters with people, or our perspective of people are, they are so rude. Excuse me, and you say people are so rude all the time. A reframe can be, I attract kind and respectful people into my life. And when you start reframing that, start noticing your interactions with people, strangers, everybody. Okay, go back to money. Money is hard to make. Money is hard to earn. Let's reframe that with money flows to me in ways that feel natural and aligned. Do you see the energy shift in that? Money is so hard to make. Feel that energy. Take a second to tune into that belief, the heaviness that so many people carry about money. I'm just going to give you a second to really tap into that. What does that feel like to you in your body, that money is hard to make? Now let's talk about the energy of money flows to me in ways that feel natural and aligned. I feel like I'm floating on a cloud when I say that in comparison to the other statement. Okay? Just these simple shifts make a huge difference. Our words literally build the reality that we experience. It doesn't matter what's going on in the outside world. Whatever our beliefs are about that are what we're going to experience. So if I believe the outside world is chaotic right now, but it is in a state of massive transformation, that's going to be my experience. I have another recommendation. Take a negative detox for 48 hours, friends, please, for 2 days. Challenge yourself. No complaining. No reinforcing those old limitations. No saying things that you don't want to be true. I'll do it with you. This past week, I've really got to see where I was still manifesting a lot of negativity for myself, and it was just kind of slipping right on by without me noticing. And I really got to observe that this week. So I'm in it with you. No complaining. We're not going to reinforce those old beliefs that make us feel like crap. We're not going to say things that we don't want to be true. I don't want it to be true that traffic sucks or money's tight or I hate the work that I do or anything else. So I'm going to say different things. I'm going to say what I want to be true. So instead, just find something positive or productive to say in every situation. One of my mantras that I have been using for years and years is everything works in my favor no matter what. When I'm being mindful and bringing that belief to the surface and really putting a focus on that, it doesn't matter what goes on around me. It always ends up working out in my favor. It might feel a little unnatural at first, but by day 2, you will start to notice a shift in how life responds to you. If you are willing to go all in with this little experiment, I can promise you that. I can confidently promise that you will experience a shift. And let your body feel this shift. Words are very powerful. So we just tuned into the money examples, right? The energy of those. But they do work even faster when we pair them with emotion. So when you say money flows to me easily, take a deep breath and feel what it would be like if that were already true. Not how you're going to make it happen. That's not what we're talking about. It already happened. You don't even need to know how. You just need to know what happened and it's in your life right now. Boom. How does that make you feel? Close your eyes and just imagine it. Make it up. Use that imagination. When you say good things are always happening for me, recall a moment when you felt really lucky or aligned or something really good, unexpected happened to you. Bring that up, associate that emotion with it, and really feel into that. Yes, thank you, more of that, right? The more you embody the words, the faster they take root. The bottom line here, your words are your blueprint. Every sentence you speak is laying a brick for your future reality. The question is, what are you building? You do not have to be blindly positive. That does not work for me either. You just have to be intentional. Start small, catch the negativity, and flip it. Speak more of what you want to see. And when you slip up, just correct it and keep going. Get back on the train. Big deal. We're learning. We're growing. We're expanding. We're transforming. Okay? No big deal. It's going to happen. We're human. Just get back on the train. This is not about perfection. It is about choosing moment by moment to create a reality that actually serves you. Now it's your turn. I would love to hear the number one phrase that you start catching yourself saying and that you know is not helping you manifest. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's connect. Let's shift this energy together. You are capable, you are worthy, and it is absolutely possible for you. Happy manifesting, my friends.